Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the AFC North is a division that's always been fiercely competitive, and this season, things are shaping up to be even more unpredictable. But what's really turning heads right now is a blockbuster trade that involves not just the Steelers, but also the Miami Dolphins, and it's got huge implications for everyone involved, especially for Pittsburgh fans. You see, last week, the Dolphins pulled off a trade that had the league buzzing, a deal that's not just about swapping players, but about shifting the balance of power in the division and even beyond. And it's all centered around some star players, some veterans, some future prospects, and a lot of strategic moves that could be game changers for the Steelers' upcoming season. Let's break this down because it's not just a simple trade. It's a chess move in a larger game. So Miami, 2 years after acquiring Jalen Ramsey from the Los Angeles Rams, decided to send him to the Steelers, along with veteran tight end Janu Smith and a late-round pick in 2027. In exchange, the Dolphins picked up Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of the best safeties in the league, and a 5th-round pick. You might think, okay, so Ramsey is the headline, but honestly, it's Smith's arrival in Pittsburgh that could really shake things up. And that's where it gets interesting for us, Steelers fans, because this trade opens up some fascinating possibilities, especially when you consider the roster and the potential moves that could follow. Now, let's talk about Janu Smith for a moment. This guy has been around the league for a while, and he's known for his athleticism, his blocking ability, and his versatility as a tight end. During his time with the Falcons, under coach Arthur Smith, who, by the way, used him extensively, Smith was frequently targeted and saw a lot of action. Last season, he finished 4th in targets for Atlanta, which shows that he's still a reliable option out of the backfield and as a receiver. Even though he's not the youngest anymore, Smith offers upside, especially as a complementary piece behind our own Pat Freiermuth. And here's where it gets really intriguing. The arrival of Smith could mean that Darnell Washington, our promising rookie tight end, might be on the trade block. You see, Darnell Washington was a first-year player in 2023, drafted out of Georgia, where he made a name for himself as a dominant run blocker and a solid receiver when called upon. Despite his limited stats, 28 catches, 454 yards, 2 touchdowns in college, his impact in the run game was undeniable. At 6'7" and over 270 pounds, Washington is a mountain of a man with an incredible wingspan, and he's shown flashes of being a true weapon in the right system. But the thing is, behind Pat Freiermuth, Washington's playing time has been limited. And with the addition of Janu Smith, who can serve as a reliable secondary tight end, the Steelers might be open to trading Washington, especially if they believe he won't get enough opportunity to develop. Now, for Steelers fans, this raises a lot of questions. Will Washington be moved? And if so, where could he go? Well, one team that might be very interested is the New York Jets. They're actively looking for ways to bolster their offense, especially the tight end position, which has been somewhat inconsistent in recent years. The Jets, led by quarterback Aaron Rodgers, are trying to maximize their offensive weapons, and Darnell Washington's run-blocking skills could be a perfect fit for their system. His ability to help energize the Jets' ground game, complementing Mason Taylor and the other tight ends, could be a game-changer. Plus, Washington's physical style of play and blocking talent would be a perfect fit for the Jets' emphasis on establishing a balanced physical offense. But it's not just about the Jets benefiting from this potential trade. The Steelers also have a lot to gain. With the recent acquisition of DK Metcalf, the offense is looking to take a step forward, but they're still in need of a dependable second wide receiver. And surprisingly, one of the players who could fill that role is none other than Lazard. Lazard, a veteran receiver who previously played with Rodgers in Green Bay, now finds himself in a bit of a limbo with the Jets. If Lazard were to move to Pittsburgh, perhaps as part of a trade involving Washington. It would give the Steelers a true number 2 receiver, someone who can stretch the field and make big plays, especially with the kind of quarterback play we expect from Kenny Pickett. This trade scenario, then, creates a domino effect that could benefit both teams. Pittsburgh would be able to upgrade their offense with a solid second receiver and bolster their offensive line, especially in the run game, with a tight end like Washington. The Jets, on the other hand, would get a young, talented tight end with enormous potential and a physical presence that could help them in short yardage and goal line situations. Plus, the Jets would free up some cap space and roster spots for other key additions, continuing their build towards becoming a serious playoff contender. Now, let's take a step back and look at what this means for the Steelers' overall strategy. Pittsburgh has been building a team that's strong on defense, especially in the secondary and along the front seven, but they've also been trying to find their identity offensively. Kenny Pickett showed flashes last season, but he needs more weapons, and the offensive line needs to keep improving to protect him better. The addition of a player like Washington, with his run-blocking prowess, could be a huge asset in that department. And if the Steelers decide to trade Washington, it would be a sign that they're focusing on immediate upgrades rather than long-term development, an indicator that the team is aiming for a deep playoff run this year. Talking about the broader picture, this trade also reflects the evolving landscape of the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals have their own star-studded offense, with Joe Burrow leading the charge, and Baltimore is always dangerous with Lamar Jackson. The Steelers know they need to keep pace, and strategic moves like acquiring a second receiver or upgrading the tight end position could be the difference between a postseason appearance and an early exit. Plus, with the conference becoming more competitive every year, Pittsburgh has to be shrewd in their roster decisions, maximizing talent and depth at every position. And don't forget, the Steelers have a rich history of making smart trades and draft picks that have paid off in the long run. Remember when they picked up players like T.J. Watt or Minkah Fitzpatrick? Those moves changed the course of their seasons. So, it's not far-fetched to imagine they're looking at Washington and thinking about how they can use him either in the short term or as a trade asset. The coaching staff and front office are always scouting, always planning, always trying to find that edge that puts Pittsburgh back on top. So, what does this all mean for us, the fans? Well, it's a thrilling time to be a Steelers supporter. We're on the cusp of potentially witnessing some major roster moves that could redefine the team's trajectory. Whether Washington stays and becomes a key part of the offense or gets traded to help other areas of the team, we know that the front office is working tirelessly to build a roster that can contend for another Super Bowl. And with the AFC North so competitive, every addition, every trade, every strategic move counts. This trade, in particular, highlights the importance of roster versatility and strategic depth. The Steelers have always prided themselves on their tough, physical style of play, and adding players like Washington or Smith fits right into that identity. These moves are about more than just filling roster spots. They're about creating a team that can adapt, that can overcome injuries and adversity, and that can punch through in critical moments. And for us fans, that's what makes following this team so exciting. We're not just watching games, we're watching a team that's constantly evolving, constantly fighting to get back to the top. And as we gear up for the upcoming season, the question on everyone's mind is, how will these moves translate on the field? Will Washington get the playing time he deserves? Will Smith's veteran experience help stabilize the tight end position? And will the Steelers finally find that second receiver who can consistently make plays? All of these questions add layers of anticipation and excitement to what promises to be another compelling Steelers season. Remember, the NFL is a league of adjustments. Teams that can adapt quickly, that make smart trades and strategic signings, often find themselves in the playoffs or even in the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh has a history of doing just that, and this offseason might be no different. The potential trade involving Darnell Washington, or perhaps even other moves that are yet to come, could be what propels the Steelers into serious championship contention. We've seen what this team can do when everything clicks: hard-nosed defense, a solid running game, and just enough offensive firepower to keep opponents honest. And let's not forget the importance of the division. The AFC North has become a battleground. The Bengals are always dangerous, The Ravens are unpredictable with Lamar Jackson, and the Browns, despite their ups and downs, have a solid roster on paper. The Steelers, with their rich history and resilient culture, know they have to be at their best every single week. Strategic moves like the potential Washington trade or reinforcements at receiver could be what separates Pittsburgh from the pack. It's about getting that extra edge, that one play, that one player who makes a difference in close games. So, as we close in on the start of training camp and the preseason, all eyes are on the Steelers, front office and coaching staff. They're carefully weighing their options, analyzing film, and trying to predict how these roster moves will play out on the field. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that has historically served Pittsburgh well. The team's commitment to building a winning culture is evident in every decision, every draft pick, every trade. And as fans, that's what keeps us so passionate, so eager to see what's coming next. This offseason, the Steelers are not just making moves, they're making statements. Whether it's about their desire to return to dominance, their confidence in Kenny Pickett, or their commitment to building a versatile, tough team, every decision is part of a bigger picture. And we, as fans, are right there with them, riding the wave of excitement, analysis, and hope. Because at the end of the day, we all want to see Pittsburgh back in the Super Bowl, raising that Lombardi trophy once again, and proving that this proud franchise remains a powerhouse in the NFL. So stay tuned, because more news is coming, and every day brings new developments. Whether it's roster moves, injury updates, or game previews, we're here to keep you informed and energized. The AFC North is heating up, and the Steelers are right in the middle of it, ready to shock the league once again. Thanks for being part of this journey, and remember, this is your home for all things Pittsburgh Steelers. Stay passionate, stay loyal, and let's get ready for an unforgettable season. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.